Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke. The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, another episode full of comedy for 2 hours here. Amos and Andy, George Burns and Gracie Allen, Fibber McGee and Molly, The Great Gildersleeve, and Love and Abner. That's all straight ahead. On this Saturday, this is the 16th day of December, 350th day of the year. We're just 15 days away from 2024. Members of the Sons of Liberty disguised as Mohawks dumped crates of tea into the Boston Harbor on this date in 1773 as a protest against the Tea Act. The first two in a series of severe earthquakes occurred on this date in 1811 in the vicinity of New Madrid, Missouri. These three so-called megaquakes, believed to be an ongoing cataclysmic danger that could reprise the 1811-12 series of 2,000 quakes that affected the lands at what would now be 8 of today's heartland states. 1826, Benjamin W. Edwards rode into Mexican-controlled Nacogdoches, Texas, and declared himself ruler of the Republic of Fredonia. A weirdness. 1893, Anton Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 in E minor from the New World, given its world premiere 1893 on this date at Carnegie Hall. 1937, Theodore Cole, Ralph Rowe, attempted to escape from the American federal prison on Alcatraz Island. Neither ever seen again. Well, the motor company later known as Saab, founded on this date in 1949 in Sweden. 1950, President Truman declared a state of emergency after Chinese troops entered the fight with communist North Korea in the Korean War. Premiering on NBC television on this date in 1951, Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
The show had premiered on radio just 2 years earlier. The premiere episode of the TV show, a reused script from the radio program where a man tried to blow up City Hall. While approaching New York's Idlewild Airport on this date in 1960, a United Airlines Douglas DC-8 collided with the TWA Lockheed Super Constellation in a blinding snowstorm over Staten Island. 134 people were killed. On this date in 1972, Henry Kissinger announced North Vietnam had left private peace negotiations in Paris.
The president decided that we could not engage in a charade with the American people. And we are now in this curious position. Great progress has been made, even in the talks. The only thing that is lacking is one decision in Hanoi to settle the remaining issues in terms that 2 weeks previously they had already agreed to. So we are not talking of an issue of principle that is totally unacceptable. We will not be blackmailed into an agreement. We will not be stampeded into an agreement. And if I may say so, we will not be charmed into an agreement until its conditions are right.
Henry Kissinger, the primary peace negotiator on this date in 1972, Kissinger passing away earlier this year at the age of 100. 1978, Cleveland became the first post-Depression era city to default on its loan, owning $14 million to local banks.
It means that city government will not be able to serve the people of the city of Cleveland as they have every right to expect to be served, and as city government should have the capacity to serve them.
Then Mayor Dennis Kucinich, half the police and 40% of firefighters laid off. 1979, Libya joined 4 other OPEC nations in raising crude oil prices, having an immediate dramatic effect on the United States. Federal Reserve announced on this date in 1982 the operating capacities of factories had gone down to 67.8%. In New York City on this date in 1985, Paul Castellano and Thomas Bellotti shot dead on the orders of John Gotti, who assumed leadership of the Gambino crime family. In 1998, Operation Desert Fox, the U.S. and United Kingdom bombed targets in Iraq. In 2000, an F4 tornado killed 11 and injured over 125 others in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Damages from the tornado totaled $35 million. 16 other tornadoes also touched down, with an additional fatality occurring in Geneva, Alabama. And in 2010, Larry King concluded his CNN talk show. After 25 years, he continued doing shows for the Russian outfit RT America and Hulu until 2020. He would pass away in 2021. Among those passing away on this date, Wilhelm Grimm, the Grimm fairy tales guy, Camille Saint-Saëns, the French composer, W. Somerset Maugham, the writer. Also, fast food entrepreneur Colonel Sanders, who didn't get seriously started. In fact, his KFC didn't even get going until he was 62. Also, actor Lee Van Cleef passing away on this date. Nicoletta Larson, fine singer, lot of love. Musician-songwriter Gary Stewart also passing away on this date. Singer-songwriter Dan Fogelberg passing away. Walt Disney's nephew Roy Disney passing away, as did actor-screenwriter Robert Easton, singer-songwriter guitarist Ray Price, and Louis Prima's ex, Keely Smith, passing away on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Ludwig van Beethoven, born on this date, as was writer Jane Austen, playwright Sir Noel Coward, anthropologist Margaret Mead, also sportswriter Frank Deford, Stephen Baccio, also Patty Deutsch, actress and Match Game panelist, comedian Bill Hicks, and the former Luke Harper, Brody Lee, who passed away at a very young age, just 41 years of age. From the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Joyce Bulifant, 86 today. Liv Ullmann, fine actress, 85 today. Journalist Leslie Stahl is 82. From ABBA, Benny Andersson is 77. He was Sid Vicious. He was Psycho Sid. He's retired. Sid Udy, 63. From Boys to Men, Michael McCary is 52. From Veronica Mars, Gilmore Girls, and Breaking Bad, Kristen Ritter is also 42 today. From Divergent, Theo James is 39. And Susan in the Chronicles of Narnia, Anna Popwell is 35. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 16th day of December as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And we'll get started this hour of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Amos and Andy, 72 years ago, December 16, 1951. That's next, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But first...
Friends, this is Bob Hope. If an atom bomb were to hit your home city, would you know what to do? Remember, one explosion of an atom bomb could kill 75,000 and maim 100,000. This is only one kind of a disaster which could strike. In addition to many forms of enemy action, there are the dangers of fire, flood, earthquake, and traffic. Knowing what to do before, during, and after a disaster can improve your chances of survival. There is something you can do and do now. You can learn a pattern of survival. Your local Office of Civil Defense is ready to help. Persuade your club, your church, your friends, and your neighbors to help to learn to live. Remember, this is the atomic age. No one can escape its hazards, but everyone can prepare. Listen carefully. What you are about to hear can save your life. Do you know the siren signal in case of atomic attack? Do you know how to find shelter? Do you know how to give first aid? Do you know what will be done for your safety? For further details, consult your local Office of Civil Defense.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, now from 72 years ago, December 16th, 1951. Freeman Gosden, Charles Correll, Amos and Andy.
Andy, you know what that music say?
Yes, sir, Amos. That music say, good health to all from Rexall.
The Amos and Andy Show, written by Joe Connolly and Bob Mosier, featuring Ernestine Wade, Johnny Lee, Amanda Randolph, Millie Bruce, John Brown, Lillian Randolph, Roy Glenn, Gene Vanderpyle, Corny Anderson, Jeff Alexander's music, yours truly, Harlow Wilcox, and starring radio's all-time favorites, Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll. Amos and Andy!
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Freeman Gosden. You know, I believe too many of us today find Christmas shopping a real chore instead of the honest-to-goodness fun it should be. And that's why this evening I want to ask you to do yourselves a favor. Just drop into your friendly Rexall drugstore and take a look around. You're going to be amazed, and I mean that, at the wonderful variety of gift ideas you'll find. You are bound to find something that's just right for every name on your gift list, and at prices that you don't mind paying. This year, enjoy your Christmas shopping. Do it at a friendly Rexall drugstore.
Well, a week ago, Andy Brown was all set to marry Theresa Thompkins, a young and pretty schoolteacher. Everything was going smoothly until Andy's old flame, Madame Queen, showed up, intent on breaking up the wedding. Andy went up to talk her out of it. But one thing led to another, and before he knew it, Andy called off his marriage to Theresa, and Andy and Madame Queen went ahead with plans for their wedding. At the moment, the Kingfish, Sapphire, and the Kingfish's mother-in-law are discussing the situation.
Well, that was something, Madame Queen showing up again. I never thought that 230 pounds of blubber would waddle back into his life again.
Well, if you ask me, I don't understand what Madame Queen or Andy ever seen in each other.
Me neither, Sapphire.
Well, I guess with them two, it's the old call of the wild. The same attraction that one 8-point moose has for another.
Well, I can't see it at all. As far as I is concerned, Andy Brown is nothing but a no-good fathead.
Well, everyone to his own taste. People is different in this world. Take Madame Queen. She's a big fat monster with a horse face and a horrible shape. On the other hand, Mama, you is, come to think of it, Mama, you pretty well moosed up yourself.
Never mind Mama, George. George, Madame Queen was a widow before she met Andy years ago. Wasn't there some children?
Yeah, there was. I remember a little boy, Junior. Yeah, he never liked Andy too much. The kid was always fooling with his chemistry set, and one day at a party, Junior slipped Andy a loaded eclair.
A loaded eclair?
Yeah, that was something, all right. For 2 months afterwards, every time Andy grinned, he smiled at you from 3 different directions. I wonder whatever happened to that Junior.
Well, the one I feel sorry for is that sweet Theresa Thompkins. Andy jilted her practical at the altar.
Yeah, I guess in the pair of nuptials, that's what they call a late scratch.
Well, I better go on in and get dinner started.
Well, George, your friend Andy's getting married.
No.
The poor sap's head is way up in the clouds. How's you planning on jipping him this time?
You really a pleasant old nanny goat, ain't you? It so happens that I ain't planning on jipping my friend.
Oh, you ain't?
No, I've been working on it for 3 days and I ain't come up with nothing. Well, at least it's quiet down here at the large hall today. I'm really happy for Andy. I even sent him a card. I feel that... I wonder who that is. Come in.
Why, good afternoon. I'm looking for Andy Brown.
Oh, Mr. Thompkins, Theresa's father. Now, look here. There ain't no use of you making no trouble. I got friends...
No, Mr. Stevens. I just wanted to talk to Andy. I have no use for him personally, but my daughter is heartbroken, and I just can't stand to see her upset. And, well, for her sake, I'd give anything if Andy Brown would just come back to her.
Yeah, well, it's too late now, but, excuse me for protruding, but, did you say anything?
That's right. Anything for her sake.
By the way, that anything you mentioned there, was that the sentimental type of anything or the folding type of anything that got the link?
Now, just a minute. Are you by any chance suggesting that I bribe Andy Brown?
Now, how dare you, sir? I certainly was not suggesting you bribe Andy Brown. It was the furthest thing from my mind.
Well, I'm sorry. That's better.
Certainly. I was suggesting that you bribe me. That's what it was.
You mean that for money you would break up Andy and this Madame Queen woman? Double-cross your best friend? What kind of a cad are you?
Well, now that you're talking my language, I happen to be a $500 cad.
Why, I wouldn't consider... You think you could swing it?
Mr. Thompkins, it's as good as swung. Well, Mr. Thompkins promised me $500 if I could bust up Andy and Madame Queen. Oh, here come Andy now. Do, Merry Christmas to you, everybody. Come in, Andy, come in.
Oh, hiya, Kingfish. Boy, is I tired. I've been out doing a lot of shopping for the wedding.
What wedding is that, son?
What wedding is that? My marriage wedding to Madame Queen.
Oh, that old thing. Andy, you don't mean to tell me that you were serious about that? Oh, I see what you're doing. You joshing me here. You was pulling my feet. Ha, ha, ha.
Kingfish, you know I was serious about marrying Madame Queen. And I thought that you was happy for me. Look at this card you sent me this morning. Listen at the poem on it. Gather ye rosebuds while you may. Love may not wait another day. Now, you was all for it then. What makes you change your mind now?
Well, I tell you what, Andy. After I mailed the thing, I come across another poem written by the same boy. And I think it sums up the situation a lot better.
Well, what poem is that?
Oh, you has heard it a lot of times, Andy. I quotes. Breathes there a man with soul so dead, who never with sad remorse has said, why did I marry that big fat horse? I unquote.
But I don't care, Kingfish. I done made up my mind to marry Madame Queen.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. Madame Queen got grown children someplace. Remember Junior, the fella give you that loaded eclair?
Look, Kingfish, I got a one-track mind. When I make up my mind, there ain't nothing gonna stop...
Wait a minute, sir. Answer the thing, Andy.
Yeah. Hello, Andrew H. Brown speaking.
Hello, Andy. This is Theresa Thompkins.
Hey, Kingfish, it's Theresa. She got her nerve calling me. Wait a minute. Look here, Theresa. There ain't no use calling up here and getting sore. We is finished.
Oh, no, Andy. I'm not angry.
You ain't?
Oh, no, Andy. I just called up to wish you all the happiness in the world with Madame Queen.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm glad you ain't sore about it.
Oh, no, Andy. All through my life, I'll cherish the memory of the time we spent together. The way we walked in the park. The way you used to hold my hand. And the way we lingered in the hall over those long, good nights.
Yeah, well... I tell you, I want, hold the phone.
What's wrong, Andy?
Kingfish, that poet really said that thing about that big fat horse, didn't he?
Of course, Andy, one of the biggest poets in the world, Henry Wadsworth Longnecker. You.
Yeah. Hello, Therese. You were saying,
Andy, I just want you to know, I'll always think of you as one of the most wonderful men I ever met.
Yeah, well, you see, I'm, hold the phone. No, me.
What's the matter now, Andy? I thought you had a one-track mind.
So did I, Kingfish, but I just hit an open switch. Hello, Theresa. I was back on the phone.
Well, Andy, I guess this is farewell and goodbye.
Yeah. Look, Theresa, if you ain't busy tonight, maybe I could drop up and we could say farewell under a little cozier conditions.
All right, Andy. The latch string will be out.
Never mind the string. I just want to latch on to you.
Oh, Andy, I'll be waiting.
Well, this is working out fine, but what in the world is you ever going to tell Madame Queen?
Oh, I don't know, but if worse comes to worse, I think I'll have Mr. Longnecker go up there and read her his poem about that big fat horse.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names. We've done that because we recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company, like Rexall MI31, for example. This tangy amber-colored antiseptic kills contacted germs in seconds when used full strength. Makes an ideal mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. What's more, Rexall gives you a full pint of MI31 at the same price as other leading brands of smaller quantity. Ask for MI31 at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Well, Andy, here's Madame Queen's apartment. Now, go in there and tell her that you and her is finished.
Oh, me, I is scared.
Nothing to be scared about. Just go right in there and tell her that you was finished. I'll be right out here in the hall hiding behind the potted plant.
Yeah. Well, as long as you was backing me up like this, okay. Now, knock on the door.
Yeah, pop your head out every once in a while and let me know how you're doing. Yeah. I'll be right here behind the potted plant.
Yeah, I think Madam Queen's coming to the door, too. I feel the building shaking.
Andy, my great big teddy bear. Come in. Come on in.
Yeah, how you do, Madam Queen?
Oh, Andy, you old rascal, you. Don't be so formal.
Well, listen, Madam Queen, I come up to tell you something important. And I think that you ought to know...
Oh, you so serious. Sit down here on the sofa, and I'll sit down on your lap while you tell me. Here we are. Now, I'll sit down on your lap.
If that ain't the chair that's given, I's done sprung my sacrilege at.
Now, Andy, honey, whisper it in my ear.
Yeah, well, I just want to tell you...
Now, what does my great big sugar pie want to tell his little old baby, Madame Queen?
Well, I just want to say... I just want to tell you... excuse me, I'll be right back.
Andy!
Kingfish.
What is it, Andy?
What was it I was supposed to tell Madam Queen?
You big mutt, you come up to tell her that you finished with her.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Now, Madam Queen...
Andy, I'm going to fix us some tea and sweet cookies. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Well, what is it now, Andy?
She went to make some tea.
Well, now listen, Andy, what kind of a man is you? Get back in there and break the news to the old toad.
Okay, I'll try to get around to it by the third sweet cookie.
What a dope that end is. Well, I better peek through the keyhole here, see what's going on in there. Huh. I was crouching down here, but I can't see nothing. Maybe,
Looking for something, Bud?
I didn't see you come up behind me there, mister. You was a big fella. You probably just look big 'cause I stooped down like this. Let me straighten up here. Don't get no smaller, do you?
All right. What are you doing looking in my mother's room here?
Well, you see, this is your mother's room?
That's right.
Tell me, would your mother's initial happen to be Madame Queen?
Yes, they would.
Then you must be Madame Queen's son, Junior. I guess you didn't come up for your mama's wedding, huh?
No, I didn't have to come up here. I took a job here in New York after I retired from the ring. By the way, who are you?
Well, me? I'm waiting for Mr. Brown. I was a friend of his.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Well, I know all about that Brown. He broke my mother's heart years ago. And if there's any funny business this time, he's going to end up down at the morgue, suffering from a permanent chill.
Oh, no, sir. Mr. Brown wouldn't pull no fast one. No, he is in there sweet-talking your mama right now. That's what it's doing, sweet-talking her.
Say, Kingfish, I ain't getting no place. That silly old toad is still making tea.
Oh, me.
What?
Excuse me, Kingfish. Didn't see you had company.
What's this about a silly old toad?
Well, it ain't exactly about a toad. It's a woman, but she is so fat and ugly that me and my friend is gonna, Say, Kingfish, why is your big friend staring at me like that?
Andy, you remember years ago the chocolate eclair that blew up on you?
Yeah?
Well, shake hands with the bombardier.
Kingfish, you don't mean...
Yeah, that's right. I'm Junior, Madame Queen's son. I've been looking forward to talking to you again for a long time, Brown.
Yes, sir, Mr. Junior.
Now, look, Brown. I ain't standing for no funny business.
Yes, sir, Mr. Junior.
You know, I'd just love to twist that stupid head of yours till your neck looked like a corkscrew.
Yes, sir, Mr. Junior. It'd make a nice one, all right.
Now, come on. Let's go in and see Mother. You too, skinhead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Junior.
And I got some tea out. Oh, Junior.
Yeah, hello, Ma.
And Mr. Stevens.
Yeah.
Well, I see that y'all is all met.
Yeah.
Now that we's all together, what was it you wanted to tell me, Andy?
Yeah, what was it you wanted to tell us, Brown?
Well, here goes, Kingfish. Madam Queen. Ha, ha, ha. Could Junior call me Papa?
Hey, Amos, the boy is in a mess. Mr. Thompkins expects Andy to marry his daughter, and Junior's counting on him marrying his mama.
Oh, me, Amos, what must I do?
Oh, what you must do? I don't know. You getting these jams and rush to me and say, what must I do?
Well, I want to know.
Well, look like, Andy, maybe there is a way out after all. Your wedding to Madame Queen is set for 4 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe in the meantime, I'll get it, boy. Hello? Oh, yeah, he's here. It's for you, Andy. It's Theresa's papa, Mr. Thompkins.
Oh, yeah. Hello? Well, Mr. Thompkins, I want, what's that? Oh. Oh, yeah, I see. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Andy, what's wrong?
Kingfish. Amos. Mr. Thompkins didn't lose no time. At 3 o'clock tomorrow, me and Theresa is having a quiet little wedding at home.
Holy mackerel, you were scheduled to marry Theresa at 3 o'clock and Madame Queen at 4 o'clock.
Oh, man. What is I going to do, boys?
I don't know, son, but it sure look like you going to have an interesting honeymoon, don't it?
Now, here is your Rexall family druggist.
If you frequently suffer from acid indigestion, I'd like you to remember 2 words: Bismarex.
Bismarex? Oh, that's Rexall's famous antacid.
That's right, ma'am. The antacid with the exclusive Rexall formula that gives both fast and prolonged relief. You see, Bismarex is specially compounded to work in a continuous relay. First, it quickly neutralizes excess stomach acidity, often within 1 minute. Then other ingredients, dissolving more slowly, ease gastric distress and leave a soothing, protective covering on irritated stomach membranes.
Fast relief, continuous relief, prolonged relief. What more can you ask?
Just this. For these 2 words, acid indigestion, remember these 2 words. Bismarex. Bisma-Rex. Bismarex. Ask for it at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Holy mackerel, what a mess. I can't marry Madam Queen.
Well, now, all I ask you to do, Andy, is to take it easy. Maybe we can, well, look who here. It's Algonquin and J. Calhoun.
Now, hiya, boys. Say, Andy, I just dropped over to find out what I'm supposed to wear to your wedding tomorrow.
Well?
What you gonna wear? Listen, things is messed up. At 3 o'clock tomorrow, Andy's marrying Theresa Thompkins at her home, and at 4 o'clock, he's marrying Madam Queen at the church on 134th Street.
And I guess the best thing I ought to wear is roller skates.
Oh, listen, Calhoun, I is in a mess. The only reason I was marrying Madam Queen is because her son is a prize fighter.
Well, now, that's as good a reason as any.
No, listen, you don't understand, Calhoun. I don't love Madam Queen. It means everything to me that I married Theresa Thompkins.
Yeah, it means quite a bit to me, too.
Well, Andy, the thing to do is see a good lawyer.
Yeah, there's the idea. You got something there, all right. Calhoun, could you recommend a good lawyer?
Well, yeah. The best lawyer in these domestic things is a fella named J. Mortimer Wentworth. Yeah. Everybody goes to see him on these domestic problems.
Yeah, I done heard of him. Yeah, I think we better go down and see this J. Mortimer Wentworth.
Yeah, what a mess. I was supposed to marry 2 gals.
Well, that's the way it goes with life, boys. I remember my mama saying that before she was married, she was going with 2 fellas. One was poor but handsome, and the other was rich but ugly. But my mama turned them both down. She decided to wait for a man who combined both the features together.
Yeah, well, did she finally get a man like that?
I'll say she did. My father was the poorest and the ugliest man you have ever seen.
Yes, I come to you because I understand you's one of the best lawyers in the city on these domestic problems.
Well, Madam Queen, I'm sure we can do something about this scoundrel Brown, or my name isn't J. Mortimer Wentworth.
Oh, I hope you can do something. My son and I is just sure he's trying to get out of this marriage.
Well, from what you told me, I think we can get him for fraud and misrepresentation. Now, I've had these summonses drawn up here on my desk. I'm having my secretary put detectives on his trail. But we'll have to wait till he makes the first move. And when he does, Madam Queen, I tell you... Yes, Miss Preston?
Mr. Wentworth, there are 2 gentlemen out here waiting to see you. A Mr. Stevens and a Mr. Brown.
Well, I'm busy right now. Andrew H. Brown?
That's right.
That's him. That's the bum I was telling you about.
Madam Queen, I wonder if you'd step out the side door there.
But
Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Now, Miss Preston, would you send Mr. Stevens and Mr. Brown in? Well.
You may go right in.
How you do, sir? I is George Stevens.
Yeah, and I is Andrew Brown.
Gentlemen, the pleasure is all mine. Won't you sit down?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, you're in some sort of a domestic problem, I take it.
Yeah, sir, you is tooking it correctly, sir. You see, my friend here has got himself messed up with an old toad by the name of Madam Queen. He wants to find out how he can dump her so that he can marry a gal that he really loves, a gal by the name of Theresa Thompkins. That's what he want to do.
Look at that, Kingfish. This is a smart lawyer. He's writing down everything we said. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. We got a great boy here. Look at him.
I wonder if you men would excuse me. I have to speak to my secretary.
Something wrong, Miss Wentworth?
Oh, no. I was going to have detectives follow somebody, but it won't be necessary now.
Oh, yeah, you going to have detectives trail some poor boob, huh?
Yes, but the boob turned out to be a bigger boob than I thought he was.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is with them boobs.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Miss Wentworth got a nice office here, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, look at all the legal papers on his desk there. Look at that, all piled up there, a lot of them.
Yeah, I guess he's a busy man, all right.
Yeah, he got papers there. Look here, I guess he in all kind of law business here. Hey, wait a minute. And,
What's the matter?
look here on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
There's summons. Look what it say.
What?
Madame Queen versus Andrew H. Brown. Now look at that, Andy. He had the papers drawn up against Madame Queen even before we come in here. Oh, I tell you, he is really smart. He wanted to...
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Kingfish, I know he's smart and all that stuff, but explain something to me here. How he done that? Now, how could he do that?
Well, he just, let me see that summons again.
Right.
Madame Queen versus Andrew H. Brown.
What's the matter, Kingfish?
And I don't know nothing about law, but something tells me you was on the wrong side of the verses here. That's what I
Yeah. And you know something? I smelled a familiar perfume when we come in here, and Madame Queen is the only gal I knows that mixes Chanel No. 5 with Sloan's liniment. Kingfish, let's get out of here.
Yeah, and as the bulldog said when he cornered the skunk, I think we done walked into a nasty mess here, boy. Listen, Andy, I done talked to a friend of mine that's a lawyer, and I told him the whole case and everything about it.
Yeah.
And he done told me what he think about it, and he said that Madame Queen and her son can't do nothing to you.
Yeah, but Amos...
I know, Andy. Look here. You just go ahead and marry this Theresa. There ain't nothing that they can do about it.
Well, what about that Junior? He done threatened to beat me to a pulp.
Oh, look, Andy. He don't have to know nothing about it. He never will know nothing about it. Once you is married to Theresa, you is safe. You go on your honeymoon, they go away and everything. It's the sensible thing to do, Andy.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Yes, sir, that's what I'll do. We'll get the marriage license this afternoon. This time, I'm going to do the sensible thing.
You is, huh?
Yes, sir, Amos, and believe me, I is just the boob that can do it. Boy, this license bureau show crowded, ain't it?
Oh, gee, I'm so afraid we'll have to wait a long time.
Yeah,
Listen, as long as I is the best man here, let me handle this thing. See if I can't get up to that window.
Right.
I'll get us up to that window. All right, come on with me now. Follow me. Excuse us, folks. Step aside there, please. Step aside.
Yeah, excuse us, folks.
Yeah, one side, please, friends. I'm friend of the mayor's, you know. Wait a minute. I'll rap on the counter here now and get some service. Clerk, a little service here.
Atta boy, Kingfish.
Listen, clerk, Miss Brown here and Miss Thompkins got to get a license in a hurry. Miss Brown ducking an old toad and her son and,
Stevens! And you too, Brown!
Holy mackerel, Madame Queen's son is the license clerk. Let me out of here.
Help!
Here's the Wilcox tip for the week. This year, enjoy your Christmas shopping. Do it at a Rexall drugstore. For a good idea of the wonderful gift ideas you'll find, check Rexall's full-page, full-color ad in this week's issue of Life. It features 44 always welcome gift suggestions. Everything from waffle irons to compacts, hosiery to stationery. Yet, they're only samples of the many distinctive yet reasonably priced items that can solve your gift list in a hurry. This year, enjoy your Christmas shopping and save money while you do it. Shop at your friendly Rexall drugstore.
We will see you again next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, at which time we will bring you our traditional Christmas show as Amos explains the Lord's Prayer to his little daughter. We hope you'll be with us.
By the way, folks, you might be interested in knowing that Amos's explanation of the Lord's Prayer is now available on Columbia Records.
For the
1 woman in 10 with sensitive skin.
There's Caranome hand cream. Yes, like all of Caranome's specially designed beauty aids, it's hypoallergenic, pure, mild, safe for most sensitive skins. It softens, beautifies, protects. Try Caranome hand cream.
As advertised in Vogue, Ladies' Home Journal, Woman's Home Companion, McCall's, and sold at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Amos and Andy is brought to you by your friendly Rexall druggist. This is the CBS Radio Network.
One bad turn deserves another. 72 years ago, December 16th, 1951, Amos and Andy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You want another bad turn? Coming up next, George and Gracie.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know your warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone or a series of short blasts, take cover immediately.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we're going to go all the way back 83 years to December 16th, 1940. Before, even on the radio show, they admitted that George and Gracie were married. The screwballness was still there. This is an episode of the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show for Spam, and Gracie is writing a play, I think.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show for Hormel and Spam. Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen on a show where there's orchestra, singing glee with a smooth East Street. Last but not least, with Bud Hiestand. Fun with Burns and Allen. And another helpful hint for you women who are looking for something different to serve for dinner. Give the family baked Spam. That's the easy way to have meat for dinner that really hits the spot. Just open a can of Spam, stud the delicious meat with cloves, and slip it into the oven. The simple directions are right on the Spam label, and it only takes but a jiffy. Now, once your family tastes the tender, juicy goodness, the meaty flavor of baked Spam, you'll find yourself serving Spam often. Spam has a finer flavor, extra goodness, because it's different. A perfect combination of pork shoulder with ham meat added. Try baked Spam for dinner tomorrow. Be sure to tell your food dealer you want S-P-A-M Spam. And here they are, those two delightful Spam stars, George and Gracie.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, George, you ought to see the cute new Christmas hat I ordered. In front of the hat, there's a little feather sticking out, and it's a beautiful thing.
What's the feather for?
Well, that's so when a fella kisses me, he'll really be tickled.
Gracie, why don't you put a little windshield wiper under the hat so you can brush off the lipstick at the same time?
Oh, you're just trying to mix me up so I'll say silly things.
Yeah. That's hard to do.
I love Christmas. Remember last Christmas?
Yeah, there was your brother coming down the chimney with a sack on his back.
Yeah, and there was Santa Claus right behind him, hollering, "Stop thief."
Yes, and he looked very smart in his dark blue suit.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good laugh by chimney.
And, George...
Couldn't have got the flu with that joke.
George, I spent all day making out my Christmas list. Here it is.
Christmas list?
Yes.
Oh, there's about 3 pages full of stuff.
Well, those are the things I want you to get me.
Me to get you?
Yeah.
Well, this is fine. 1 diamond ring, 1 mink coat, 1 new Cadillac. Gracie, the only thing you left out is a ticket for the Rose Bowl game.
Well, I wouldn't think of asking for anything that expensive.
I could always get the Seaboard Loan Company to finance it. To write a list like this, you must have had a lifetime fountain pen.
Well, as a matter of fact, I had some ink left over, so I wrote a play we're going to do tonight.
You wrote a play that we're doing tonight?
It's a newspaper story.
Look, I wish you'd stop writing these silly plays.
The name of the paper is the Los Angeles Sun.
The Los Angeles Sun?
Comes out once a week.
Gracie, you know nothing about writing plays.
I do, too.
You do not.
Say, Gracie, instead of calling your paper the Los Angeles Sun, why don't you call it the Daily Spam?
The Daily Spam?
Well, sure. So when those newsboys yell extra, they'll have something extra to yell about.
Yes, and the people will eat it up.
Oh, yes.
You know, Bud, you're really a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius with the light brown hair.
Well, anyway, Gracie, you're not going to do this play, and you know nothing about plays.
I do, too.
And I just assume you'd stop writing.
Bueno, una vez antes de que se meten en líos, yo tengo una cosa de Christmas que es muy importante. Quisiera yo arreglar. A ver si...
Well, he's down in the cellar again. What is it, Senor Lee?
Senor Burns, maybe you can help me out. My brother, she's a musician. I want to get him a little knock-knick for Christmas.
Well, if your brother's a musician, why don't you get him a saxophone?
He's got one.
What about a trombone?
He's got one.
Does he have a fife?
Oh, yes, and 2 kids.
No, a fife is a long, skinny thing.
That's her.
Look, guitar player, will you just stay back there with the band and stop interfering down here?
Hello, Sam's Hot Gracie Allen speaking. Oh, how are you? What? Yes, I read it, but I think the second act should have a little more suspense. Well, my advice would be to keep the husband out of the cafe scene and bring him in just before the curtain. And in that way, you'll have a stronger finish. Oh, that's all right. Don't mention it. I'm always glad to help. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Noel Coward.
Noel Coward?
Yes.
Well, I give up. All right, on with the play.
No, just a minute. Soundman, I want you to be on your toes today because there are a lot of sound effects in the play.
Hey, Soundman, 4 years in Harvard. Gracie's talking to you.
Just a moment, Mr. Burns.
Oh.
I'm reading a letter that my 2-year-old boy wrote to Santa Claus.
A 2-year-old boy can write?
Oh, yes. Listen. Dear Santa Claus, ?
Question mark?
Yes. If the rigors of your seasonal voyage from your polar habitat are not too strenuous, would it inconvenience you to remit to the undersigned the following paraphernalia post haste to wit?
A 2-year-old child wrote that?
Yes. Backward, isn't it?
Yes, very backward, yes.
The following are his requests. 1 copy of Roget's Thesaurus, 1 micromatic solar telescope with a 22-millimeter lens concave ground, and 1 guinea pig, 1 rabbit, and 1 frog for scientific dissection.
How can a 2-year-old child write anything like that?
Mr. Burns, he happens to be a quiz kid.
Well, just watch the sound effects and on with the play. Music.
Hear the clanking of the presses as the paper goes to press. It's a goofy gazette, and it's Gracie Allen's pet.
Georgie is the star reporter.
I'm the reporter.
He's the reporter. This is Gracie's latest play.
Artie writes the scandal column.
I look through the keyhole.
He looks through the keyhole. Yes, this is Gracie's latest play.
But Hiestand draws the funny.
I'm a regular Peter Arno.
Does he get a lot of money?
I know. Senor Lee is the gayest one of all. The reason is a secret, and I'll tell you why he's gay.
The reason I'm so happy is 'cause I'm not in this play.
Gracie wrote the part that way.
Now, Gracie, will you tell me who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Who am I?
Oh, nuts, who are you?
Yes, who are you?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, me? Oh, my? Oh, me? I'm the owner of the paper. Ha, 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 ha.
This is Gracie's latest play.
City desk. Editor Gracie Allen speaking. What? Oh, my goodness. When did you find out? Oh, gee, thanks for telling me. I better call the press room.
Press room.
Stop the presses. Hold the front page for rewrite.
Stop the presses. Okay, Chief. What's the rewrite?
Today is Monday, not Tuesday.
Editor Allen?
Yes?
That notorious gangster Spike Stetson is outside to see you.
Stetson, you mean public enemy number 6 and 7/8?
Yes.
Send him in. Meanwhile, I better get this editorial off. Oh, I don't know why I can't read these things after they come out of the typewriter. Maybe I shouldn't have used the ribbon to tie up those Christmas packages. Come in.
Hiya. I'm Spike Stetson. I heard a lot about your paper. Is it true that you're trying to clean up conditions here in this city?
Oh, just a minute. Let me read my paper. Yeah, it's true.
Well, we got a crooked warden at the prison, and me and my mob was wondering if you could expose him.
Oh, well, that's terrible. He'll give that prison a bad name.
Yeah, conditions are something awful. We don't mind him giving us phony tips on the races, or picking our pockets while we're in a straitjacket. But we do object to him charging us 40 cents for a banana split.
Well, how much ice cream does he put into it?
One ball as big as my fist.
Boy, what a scoop. What flavor did he give you, chocolate or vanilla?
Pistachio.
Pistachio? Why, the brute.
Then you'll do something.
Do something? My father before me was a publisher. He was a great crusader for honesty and integrity, and before he died, he said one thing.
What's that?
Oh.
Well, you made me a happy man. Goodbye.
Yes, Editor?
Send in reporter Burns, reporter Hiestand, and reporter Shaw.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Chief.
Hello, Chief.
Hello, Chief.
Hello, Steve.
It's Steve. Who are you?
Is this the Big Town program?
No.
Oh, pardon me. I'm in the wrong script.
What is it, Chief?
Reporters, our paper has a chance of beating all other papers in town to a great story.
Goody.
We've got to expose the warden of our local prison. He's a crook.
Dear.
You know, he's the worst warden we've ever had. He's cruel, inhuman, unjust. He's even gone so far as to charge the prisoners 40 cents for banana splits.
My.
And what do you think he uses? Pistachio ice cream. What's that?
Some of the nuts got stuck in my teeth. Well, this is fine.
Say, I've got an idea. You reporters go out and get yourselves arrested. And while you're in prison, we can get the real lowdown on the warden. It'll be worth a fortune to you.
Now, wait a minute. Who ever made a fortune out of being in prison?
Humphrey Bogart.
Now, look, Chief.
Say, Editor, I think you got a good idea, but how are we going to get ourselves arrested?
Oh, let me think now. The toughest guy in the country is Trigger Joe, and he's in jail. Well, he ought to know how to get you boys in.
Yes, Editor?
Get me Trigger Joe at the penitentiary.
Yes, ma'am.
Very well, Chief, yeah. I shall incarcerate myself in prison, yeah. The traditions of the paper are far greater than any individual, yeah.
Senor Burns, with that acting, you sound just like Edward H. Robinson.
You mean Edward G. Robinson?
I don't know. You sound like H to me.
Quiet back there. We're doing a play.
I've got the penitentiary for you, Editor.
Hello, penitentiary?
Yes?
I want to speak to Trigger Joe. I want to speak to Trigger Joe.
I'm sorry, your party was just hung up.
Oh, let me see. Now, how can I get you fellas in jail? Murder? No. Robbery? No. Oh, I've got it. Here's a way that never fails. You got a car?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, go downstairs and double park.
Double park? Well, that never misses.
Now the curtain goes down on our first act, and during the intermission, Artie Shaw and his orchestra, who are now appearing at the Palladium here in Hollywood, will play Dancing in the Dark.
Editor Gracie Allen's ingenious plan to get reporters Burns, Hiestand, and Shaw into prison worked better than anticipated. We now pick up the three reporters as they start their third year in prison.
Oh, don't worry, boys. I'll get you out of here if it takes me the rest of your lives.
2 years. It's driving me mad.
Driving you mad. It's driving us all mad. All we hear day and night and day, are those shuffling feet out in the yard. There they go again. Feet, meat, feet.
There he goes, folks.
Meat.
He's going stir crazy again.
Meat. Say, George, did you hear how Susie got her man? The one all the girls call smooth-talking Sam?
It looks like I was right. Sure enough. We better humor Bud. He might get rough.
No, Bud, I didn't hear how Susie got Sam, but I'll bet a wooden dollar it's got to do with spam.
Well, Artie, all men like delicious tender meat. So Susie served Sam a meat you can't beat. She served baked spam when Sam came to dine. Yum Yum said Sam would make spam taste so fine. Spam has a better flavor, said Susie to Sam. It's pork shoulder meat combined with ham. That's why spam has an extra good flavor. Serve it soon. Do your family a favor. You can serve spam cold, you can serve spam hot. No matter how you use it, spam sure hits the spot. For tender, tasty meat, put spam on your table. Easy recipes you'll find on the spam can label. It's easy to serve. Baked spam, said Susie, gives you plenty of time for an afternoon snoozy. So Susie said to Sam, Sam sure tastes fine. Sam said to Susie, will you please be mine? Thus ends the story of Susie and Sam, the gal who got her man 'cause she served him spam. Tomorrow, when you go to your favorite food store, shout, I want spam when you open the door. I wish the smoothies were here to get me out of this thing. I'd stop talking if I could hear them sing.
Slice it, dice it, fry it, bake it, cold or hot, spam hits the spot.
Hiestand, Burns, and Shaw, get in there. The warden wants to see you.
We'll be right back, Chief.
And, George, keep a stiff upper lip.
Thanks.
Your plate is slipping.
Well, Warden, here we are.
I sent for you boys because I'd like to tell you something.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you something, Warden. We're not convicts, we're reporters. We know all about your graft here in the prison. Last night we stole into your office and went through your files, and we know everything.
Well, I guess you've got me, boys. I might as well confess. I sell guns to the prisoners. Well. I sell paroles to the lifers.
My.
I sell files to the burglars.
Dear. Bud, write that down.
Haven't got a pencil.
I sell pencils, too.
Dear. Our paper will expose you as soon as we get out.
I bet you're not getting out. In an hour from now, you three boys will be sitting in the electric chair in the gas chamber, and then you'll be hanged. I'm not taking any chances.
You forget the power of the press. Our editor, Gracie Allen, will have us out of here in no time.
I'll get it, Warden. Hello, this is Artie Shaw speaking. Oh, hello, darling. Yeah, dear. Of course I love you. No, can't make the usual time tonight. You bet. Hold the wire a minute, darling. Warden, it's your wife. She wants to talk to you.
His wife! Come on, boys.
Well, boys, how did you make out?
How did we make out? We've only got an hour to live. What do we do?
Oh, let's go to a newsreel. That'll kill an hour.
Editor Allen, you got us into this and you've got to get us out.
Oh, wait a minute now. Have you got a file?
Yes.
Well, work on my nails while I'm thinking.
Hurry, we've got less than an hour.
Wait, I've got it. I'll use influence. Quick, we haven't got a moment to lose. George, take a letter to the President of the United States.
The President of the United States?
Yes.
All right.
Letter. My dear President. Read it back.
Read it back?
Yes, read it back.
My dear President.
Oh, there's something wrong with that letter. Take out the word President.
Okay.
Read it back.
My dear.
Oh, there's still something wrong.
Yeah. Can't say my dear to the President.
Take out the word dear and put back the word President.
Okay.
Read it back.
My President.
No. Maybe I better not say my, huh?
Yeah.
He's really not my president. He belongs to everybody.
Yes, he belongs to everybody.
Take out the rest of it.
Okay.
Read it back.
Gracie, I can't read nothing.
George, watch your grammar.
I've got an idea. Supposing you just say, my dear President.
Well, that's much better. Why didn't I think of that in the first place? All right, mail the letter.
Mailed a letter?
Yes.
But you didn't tell him anything.
Well, who am I to tell him anything? He's the president.
Oh, yes. Boys, it looks like we're through. Here comes the prison executioner.
Boys, I'm sorry to do this, but orders is orders. Before you're electrocuted, I've got to slip the leg of your trousers.
Drafty, isn't it?
You said it.
Well, boys, my last request will be for them to let me take along a can of Spam.
A can of Spam? But how do you know where you're going?
What difference does it make? Cold or hot, it hits the spot.
Well, I guess this is the end.
No, there are 3 more pages.
Oh, quiet.
Well, after I'm gone, I want him to scatter my ashes on the dance floor of the Palladium.
Why, Artie?
It's slippery there.
Editor Allen, this is all your fault. I'm too young to die. I want to live. I love life. I want to be gay. I want to go to Ciro's. I want to dance till dawn. The rumba, the mazurka.
Senor Burns, with your acting will win the Pulitzer Prize.
Senor Lee, it isn't Pulitzer. It's Pulitzer.
Pulitzer.
Pulitzer. P-U.
You said it.
Oh, quiet. Time is flying. There must be some way out.
I've got an idea. I'll get you out. Where's the prison phone?
Right here.
Hello, this is Editor Gracie Allen speaking. My reporters want to escape. How do they go about that? Oh, I see. They'll need 3 guard uniforms, 3 guns, a rope, and a fast car. How much will that be? $128. Thanks. George, make out a check for $128.
To whom?
To the warden.
The warden? The warden is selling the stuff to escape with?
It'll be here in 2 hours.
In 2 hours, we'll be needing lilies.
He sells those, too.
Look, Gracie, we've only got 10 minutes.
Editor Allen, I'm one of the trustees here. You can still save the lives of your reporters.
How?
There's a fast car downstairs. You can be at the governor's house in 8 minutes, and you'll have 2 minutes left to talk to him and stop the execution.
Then go quickly, Gracie.
Yes, don't let anything stand in your way.
Every second counts.
Yes, there's no time to waste. I'm off. Goodbye. I want to say goodbye. I'm on my way. Goodbye. To plead for your pardon.
Goodbye. She's on her way. Goodbye. She wants to say goodbye. Let's say goodbye.
We'll be proud of our conquering hero. She's on her way. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
May heaven speed her on her way and bring her safely back someday. She's gone.
I've come to say goodbye. 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 In fact, I've come to say goodbye. I mean, I've come to say goodbye. I'm on my way. Goodbye. I'll fly to the governor.
She wants to say goodbye. She's on her way. Goodbye. Let's say goodbye.
We'll be proud of our conquering hero. She's on her way. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
May heaven speed her on her way and bring her safely back someday. She's gone.
I've come to say goodbye. 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 In fact, I've come to say goodbye. I mean, I've come to say goodbye. I'm on my way. Goodbye. I leave to reprieve you.
She says she wants to say goodbye. She's on her way. Goodbye. Let's say goodbye.
We'll be proud of our conquering hero. She's on her way. Goodbye.
Bye.
May heaven speed her on her way and bring her safely back someday. She's gone.
I've come to say goodbye.
Get out! Well, there's 9 minutes left, but she can still make it.
Listen. That's the car.
Yeah, that means she's on her way up.
Do you hear that, prisoners? We're saved! We're saved! Hooray! Hooray!
I've come to say goodbye.
I give up.
Well, Will George, Bud, and Artie really get the chair? Will Gracie get to the governor in time to save them? I'm just dying to find out, aren't you? Tune in next week.
Give your family good meals and yet save time for your last-minute Christmas shopping is a problem you can solve with Spam. S-P-A-M. Originated by Hormel, Spam is absolutely the most popular new meat item brought out in a generation. Thousands of families now use it regularly because cold or hot, Spam hits the spot. If you haven't yet tried Spam, now's the time. You're really missing something. Handy, convenient, easy to use, Spam is delicious meat that's different. Try Spam tomorrow. Just be sure you say to your food dealer, I want Spam.
Driver, step on it. We've only got 2 minutes.
Miss, I'm going as fast as I can. We'll make it.
Oh, dear. Oh, wait a minute. Stop the car right here.
Is this the governor's mansion?
Oh, no, it's the May Company. Isn't that the cutest house in the window?
Again next week, same time, same station, for another Burns and Allen show with Artie Shaw and his orchestra and the Smoothies. This is Bud Hiestand speaking for Hormel and Spam, reminding you to remember that cold or hot, Spam hits the spot.
George Burns and Gracie Allen, 83 years ago, December 16th, 1940, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head to Wistful Vista in just a moment, 79 to be precise, and see what's going on in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly.
A well-designed school can be more than a fine building and a place for learning. It can also protect the children, the teachers, and the whole neighborhood, too, if the architect has designed the school to serve as a community fallout shelter as well. Over 13,000 architects and engineers have been trained in fallout shielding techniques. To learn more about building fallout shelter into new schools, contact your local civil defense director.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go to their first program. Actually, no, they'd be a couple of weeks after Pearl Harbor's attack. December 16th, 1941, 82 years ago. Let's check in with Jim and Marion Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with the National Emblem March. Cross speak last night. He was asking for money. He said in part... Ladies and gentlemen, I heard an officer of the Red Cross speak last night. He was asking for money. He said in part that it was customary these days to press demands upon them will be great. But we are a great nation. So let's give till it hurts. Urgently and immediately. Now, for 130 million people, that's the price of a few cigars or a lipstick. The Red Cross is always ready to help in times of war and disaster. And from now on, the demands upon them will be great. But we are a great nation. So let's give till it... Frost-bitten but triumphant, we find that lumberjack... The master of 79 Wistful Vista is not one to squander $1.25 for a Christmas tree when he can drive out to the woods and chop down his own. No, sir. And here, driving up to the house, frost-bitten but triumphant, we find that lumberjack who saves Jack on his lumber...
Get them brakes fixed. Oh, boy, am I cold. Well, come on, Christmas tree. Come to Papa. You got a new home.
McGee, you're getting snow all over the hall. Why didn't you stamp your feet?
Why should I stamp my feet? I ain't mad at anybody. Besides, they're so cold, I'm just walking from memory.
Here, you poor lad. Let me take your coat.
Shorty. And I says, yeah, I says, tossing my hatchet up in the air and catching it by the handle. Try and get it, I says. You don't need this tree for last Christmas, I says. And he says...
Oh, did you actually fight for it, dearie?
Oh, it didn't come down to actual brawl, no. One guy ups to me and says, that's my tree, Shorty. And I says, yeah, I says, tossing my hatchet up in the air and catching it by the handle. Get it, I says. You don't need this tree for last Christmas, I says. And he says, what do you mean last Christmas? Well, I says, sinister-like, advancing toward him with a nasty look. You lay a blade on that. So I just sneered and walked away. Double time.
Good for you, McGee. Did he go away then?
No. He started swinging his axe at me. And just then I noticed that this tree, which was a little farther along and was even bigger and better.
Oh, yeah.
So I just sneered and walked away. Double time.
Well,
next spring when the snow melts, I'll get... Oh, my gosh. What's that?
Oh, it's that window.
Shucks now, Molly, just because...
What took you so long to get it home? You know, you've been gone 6 hours.
Well, I had a blowout on the way back and had to stop and buy a new second-hand tire. Cost me $7.
Where's the hatchet?
I lost it in the snow. But I know just where it is, and next spring when the snow melts, I'll... Oh, my gosh. What's that?
Oh, it's that window in the dining room. I opened it because it was so hot in here, and it won't stay open.
No. Well, I'll fix it when I get time. By the way, what time is it?
It's after 4. Why? Where's your wristwatch?
Well, I took it off to chop this tree down and forgot all about it. Then when I went back to look for it, moth-eaten shrubs they're selling downtown. When I want a tree, not a bouquet.
A $2 hatchet and a $7 tire. $39 for a 98-cent Christmas tree. Oh, happy Yuletide.
Well, I didn't want one of those measly little moth-eaten shrubs they're selling downtown. When I want a tree, not a bouquet. Come in.
Hello, Mayor Latrivia.
Good day, Mrs. McGee. I say, McGee.
Yes?
About that job you wanted in the City Hall. I'm still working on it, but I'll have to have a little information.
Well, tell the nice mayor what he wants to know, dearie.
Okay. Dig me, the detective force of Wistful Vista. I order you to make way there. Stand back, everybody. The police.
This wouldn't be a police job, McGee.
Oh.
But one of the elevator operators has just been drafted. Crowds of people all asking you questions. Can you ignore the whispers behind your back? Can you give orders in a loud tone of authority?
Boy, can I. Listen to this, Trev. All right, folks. As captain of the detective force of Wistful Vista, I order you to make way there. Stand back, everybody. The police...
This wouldn't be a police job, McGee.
Oh.
But one of the elevator operators has just been drafted, and I've suggested you. I'll let you know later. Good day.
Why, that small-minded, boat-grabbing baby...
Is at present sleeping its edge off under a snowdrift 18 miles north of town.
Yeah, well, we got a saw, haven't we?
Not a very good one. It's all bent.
Who bent it?
You did.
Huh?
After you saw that vaudeville act at the Bijou last...
Get me a hatchet, will you?
The hatchet, dear boy, according to your official communique...
Yeah?
Is at present sleeping its edge off under a snowdrift 18 miles north of town.
Yeah, well, we got a saw, haven't we?
Not a very good one. It's all bent.
Who bent it?
You did.
Huh?
After you saw that vaudeville act at the Bijou last October, you tried to play pony boy on it, remember?
Well, I guess it'll still work. Say, it's awful hot in here.
Yes, it is. I'll open that dining room window again.
Okay.
The thermostat on the furnace is out of order, and I've got to get it fixed.
Boy, am I tired. Ah, but what a tree. Why, this will give us enough kindling wood for all summer. Thing, Mert. Huh? Who? Your niece. Somebody grabbed her and kissed her during the...
Our little ornaments are going to look awful silly on it.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I better order a bigger assortment of ornaments. Now, hand me the phone, will you?
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the Wistful Vista Novelty and Day. Oh, is that you, Mert? How's every little thing, Mert? Huh? Who? Your niece. Somebody grabbed her and kissed her during the blackout.
Oh, heavenly days, McGee. Does she know who it was?
She'll recognize him when she sees him. He'll have lipstick all over his face and neck and shirt front.
From just one kiss?
What do you mean, one kiss? That blackout lasted 3 hours.
Tarzan.
Who?
I said Tarzan.
Who?
Oh, stop it, McGee. That's
I
not
didn't
very
say
funny.
anything. You says Tarzan. Who? Tarzan.
Who are you shouting at?
Who? Hey, what the...
McGee, it's an owl. He's in that tree.
Huh?
Look, up on the fourth branch. And trim out 100 or so branches. Tarzan or somebody might be hiding in there.
Who?
Tarzan.
Who?
I said Tarzan.
Who?
Oh, stop it, McGee. That's
I
not
didn't
very
say
funny.
anything. You says Tarzan. Who? Tarzan.
Who are you shouting at?
Who? Hey, what the...
McGee, it's an owl. He's in that tree.
Huh?
Look, up on the fourth branch.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Shake the tree, Molly. Open the door and we'll shoo him out. Ooh. You! Come on, get out of that, you big buzzard. Go on, scram.
Take it harder, McGee. There he goes.
Chase him, Molly. Chase him this way. Look out, look out, look out.
Go away, Birdie. He won't even look at me, McGee.
Well, owls don't see good in the daytime.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Buy him some glasses?
Hey, ooh, there he goes. Go on. Beat it. Scram.
Well, thank goodness. Those things give me the creeps.
Me too. Though I will say it was decent of him to back up my judgment.
What are you talking about?
Well, owls are wise birds, and we both picked out the same tree. Don't you get it, Molly? I
wanted to know if you could come out and play. Some of us kids are building a snow fort in that vacant lot up on the corner. Having a peck of fun.
No, thank you. We've got work to do, Mr. Oldtimer. I'm afraid you'll have to romp in the snow without... No. We buy our firewood on the hook, Mr. Oldtimer.
What's on your mind besides that Daniel Boone cap, Oldtimer?
Just wanted to know if you could come out and play. Some of us kids are building a snow fort in that vacant lot up on the corner. Having a peck of fun.
No, thank you. We've got work to do, Mr. Oldtimer. I'm afraid you'll have to romp in the snow without us.
Oh, gee, kids, come on. We wanted to choose up sides and play Yanks and Japs. Only nobody wants to be a Jap. Hey, what was that?
Oh, it's just the dining room window, Mr. Oldtimer. It won't stay open.
Hey? Oh, well, way I heard it. One feller says, t'other feller says. That's pretty good, Johnny. But that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it. Hey, what was that?
Oh, it's just the dining room window, Mr. Oldtimer. It won't stay open.
Hey? Oh, well, the way I heard it. One feller says, t'other feller says.
Thank your lucky stars and stripes.
If you peaches from a beer garden. Well, says t'other feller, that's so when he starts foaming at the mouth, nobody'll notice it.
Martha Tilton sings Thank Your Lucky Stars and Stripes.
If you live right, you like the good old Yankee way, so say so. If you can sing and believe in anything, you can thank your lucky stars and stripes. Steam heat and ham and eggs and hay rides and cider kegs. If you like the good old Yankee way, so say so. If you can sing and believe in anything, you can thank your lucky stars and stripes. If there's fun on Dollar Day, you can thank your lucky stars and stripes. If you can joke and enjoy an artichoke, well, if life is gay, if there's fun on Dollar Day, you can thank your lucky stars and stripes. If you can joke and enjoy an artichoke, you can thank your lucky stars and stripes.
Oh, they cut down the old pine tree and they hold
stars and
Oh, they cut down the old pine tree, and they hauled it away to the mill to make a night.
Well, listen now, try and be a little quieter. Uncle Dennis is upstairs taking a steak. Do you have to sing with your sawing?
No, I don't have to, but it helps. Hey, how's it look now, Molly? Beginning to shape up pretty good, eh?
Yes, if you like that shape. It's pretty lopsided.
It is? Where? Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Well, I can trim that side off a little more. It's a good thing I got a big tree to start with, you know it?
Well,
yeah.
Listen now, try and be a little quieter. Uncle Dennis is upstairs taking a nap.
That guy's always taking a nap. Anybody I ever knew. Oh, I cut down the old pine tree, and I hauled it away in my car.
McGee, there's somebody at the door.
Who?
I don't know. Let me peek. Now, let's not start on poor Uncle Dennis again. He's a gentleman and a scholar.
He ought to be a scholar. He's had more teachers than anybody I ever knew. Oh, I cut down the old pine tree, and I hauled it away in my car.
McGee, there's somebody at the door.
Who?
I don't know. Let me peek. Oh, it's Mrs. Uppington.
Oh, not the Mrs. Uppington, the choicest crumb in our upper crust.
Yes. And wearing a hat that was made in a hurry by a cross-eyed milliner wearing boxing gloves. Come in, Abigail, darling.
I'd say that if I carried my handkerchief in my sleeve.
Say, I didn't know you were such a lover of the great open spaces, Abigail.
Oh, my dear. I used to simply I simply adore the scent of freshly cut lumber, really. It's so invigorating and so outdoorsy, you might say.
Yeah, I might say that if I carried my handkerchief in my sleeve.
Say, I didn't know you were such a lover of the great open spaces, Abigail.
Oh, my dear. I used to simply spend all my time at my hunting lodge in Maine. Roughing it, you know.
Ever hunt any moose?
McGee. Watch your commas, dearie.
Well, did you, Uppy? Feeling that something was creeping up on you, ready to pounce any minute, and suddenly... Wow! Help! He got me! Shoot him!
Take it easy, McGee. Huh? Take it easy.
It's there, Uppy.
Don't pay any attention to him, Abigail. You know, he thinks he's a great woodsman because he shot a bear in Alaska last summer.
Well, that was something. If you ever walked through a dark forest with the feeling that something was creeping up on you, ready to pounce any minute. And suddenly... Wow! Help! He got me! Shoot him!
Take it easy, McGee.
Huh?
Take it easy. It's just the window in the dining room. It won't stay open, Abigail. But say, where did you get that hat? I haven't been...
Since I'm a plain-spoken man, I think it's the worst monstrosity ever placed on a human head.
Oh.
It would make a Zulu medicine man swallow his spear.
Oh, splendid. That's exactly why I dropped over today, my dear, to see if you liked it. Do you, Mr. McGee?
Well, confidentially, Effie, since I'm a plain-spoken man, I think it's the worst monstrosity ever placed on a human head.
Oh.
It would make a Zulu medicine man swallow his spear.
Oh, splendid. I'm a success.
What?
I just said to myself, if Mr. McGee likes it, I will simply have to give it to my cook.
Okay. I got needles galore sprinkled over the floor in the shade of the old pine tree. Hey, Molly. How's she look now?
Well, it looks better, McGee. At least we can get in the same room with it. Not in half, dearie. When it comes to fashions, you'd better just do one thing.
What's that?
Saw wood.
Huh? Oh, okay. I got needles galore sprinkled over the floor in the shade of the old pine tree. Hey, Molly. How's she look now?
Well, it looks better, McGee. At least we can get in the same room with it. Now, if you'll trim some more off the far side there.
Okay, I'll... Oh, hi, Harlow.
Hello, Fibber. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. Won't you come in and get some sawdust all over your clothes?
Say, what goes on here anyway?
I went out and cut down my own Christmas tree, Harlow, and now I got to shorten the sleeves on it a little.
Well, you sure got the room in a mess, pal.
The card could be too flowery.
Why, certainly not. Let 'em drip, I always says. Oh, read the blurb, Waxy.
All right. It reads, "The season's greetings to you, my friend, from the Johnsons." I'm a little worried about the greeting cards I ordered this year. I'm afraid the sentiment is a little too flowery.
Well, read one to us, Mr. Wilcox. Though personally, I don't think a greeting card could be too flowery.
Why, certainly not. Let 'em drip, I always says. Oh, read the blurb, Waxy.
All right. It reads, "The season's greetings to you, my friend, from the Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat Man. I hope that in 1942 and 43 and 44 and 45 and 46, you'll remember all those little minutes or less, you're through. Just pour some out and spread it around and let it coat on your flow."
On your flow. Well, shut my mouth, honey child.
You shut it, dearie.
Your husband's wife. If that ain't the corny.
Hey, what's that lovely gloss and the dandy sheen? Eliminates rubbing and buffing, too. And in 20 minutes or less, you're through. Just pour some out and spread it around and let it dry. And then you've found the color and pattern have come to life. And so have you, your husband's wife.
Oh, that's wonderful. Your husband's wife. If that ain't the corny.
Hey, what's that noise?
That was Longfellow turning over, Harlow. Naive character, isn't he, Molly?
How naive?
Oh, I was talking to him one day, and he looks all around to see if anybody was listening, and then whispers to me that Santa Claus didn't really live at the North Pole. He said he really...
Okay. I'll get something else.
Naive character, isn't he, Molly?
How naive?
Oh, I was talking to him one day, and he looks all around to see if anybody was listening, and then whispers to me that Santa Claus didn't really live at the North Pole. He said he really lived in Racine, Wisconsin.
Say, that tree's getting awfully small, McGee. Better not trim it much more.
I know, but I decided that it would look a lot better up on the piano.
Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Then it'll be out of the way.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll go out and fix that dining room window.
Okay. Oh, I cut down the old pine tree, 'cause the ones at the store were not free.
I'm spending the holidays in Chicago with Mama and Papa.
Oh. Is your wife going with you, Mr. Wimple?
Who, Sweetie Face?
Uh-huh.
No, she has to stay here and knit. How are you today, Mr. McGee?
Fit as a fiddle and ready to play humoresque, Wimp. Old shrimp, what's it with you?
I just dropped in to say goodbye for a couple of weeks, is all.
Oh.
I'm spending the holidays in Chicago with Mama and Papa.
Oh. Is your wife going with you, Mr. Wimple?
Who, Sweetie Face?
Uh-huh.
No, she has to stay here and knit.
Knit? Can't she knit on the train?
Not so good, Mr. McGee. She broke 3 ribs wrestling with a policeman, and the doctor says shit. Oh, I shouldn't say that, I suppose. Sweetie Face is really a wonderful woman at heart. The whole force is just crazy to study with her. At least, I think they are.
I'll bet you'll miss her, Wimple.
How much?
How much will you miss her?
No, how much will you bet? Oh, I shouldn't say that, I suppose. Sweetie Face is really a wonderful woman at heart, if any, and I doubt it.
Well, we'll call on her while you're gone, Wimple, and see if there's anything we can do.
Yes, we might take her some fruit or something.
Oh, I wouldn't advise it, Mrs. McGee.
The King's Men sing Coming Through the Rye.
And you.
The King's Men sing Coming Through the Rye.
If a body meet a body coming through, get all the lassie, body kiss a body, meet a body cry. Meet a body coming through the rye. May they say, get all the lassies smile at me, coming through the rye, coming through the rye. If a body meet a body coming through the rye, if a body kiss a body, the body cry. Every little laddie has a bonnet, now everyone must have a loving lassie, but they say that the lassies always pass me by. Yet all the girls, they smile at me, coming through the rye. If a body meet a body coming through the rye, if a body kiss a body, the body cry. Every little laddie has a bonny little lassie, but may they say, hey, I yet. All we lads and lassies get together in the heather when we're coming, but we're coming through the rye.
Well, is it still awfully hot in here, McGee?
You're asking the wrong... Trumpeter, what are you sounding now?
McGee, haven't you got that tree fixed yet?
No, but it won't be long now, Molly. Anyway, I hope not. This saw is getting duller than a bus trip to Bloomington.
Well, is it still awfully hot in here, McGee?
You're asking the wrong man, Mrs. McGee. I'd be hot right now if I was up to my clavicle in ice cubes. This is a warm work.
Well, I hate to keep that dining room window open, but the thermostat on the furnace simply won't work. Say, have you been monkeying with that, McGee?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
With the thermostat?
Yes.
Caught in one of the little screws, and the first thing I knew, I had it all apart.
I know that, too, but did you monkey with it?
When?
Anytime.
Well, say I did kind of tinker with it last night at that.
Oh, now it comes out. And just what did you do to it, Mastermind?
Well, I was walking past it with a screwdriver in my hand, and the screwdriver caught in one of the little screws, and the first thing I knew, I had it all apart. Wonderful little gadget, too.
McGee, I don't know what I'm going to do with you.
That's a coincidence, Molly. I don't know what I'm going to do with this little dingus I took out of it either. I couldn't find any way to get it back in there.
Well, why didn't you tell me so I could call the furnace man?
Oh, I was going to fix it myself when I got finished with this tree. I'll fix it. Stop a while and listen to my...
Well, you go ahead and I percolate it.
What you mean?
It throws coffee across the room like a fire extinguisher. And my electric toaster.
Oh, well.
I have to fix breakfast wearing a catcher's mitt.
Oh, well. No machine is perfect. As soon as I finish with this tree, I'll fix it. Stop a while and listen to my...
Well, you go ahead and I'll go open that dining room window.
Oh, take a look at this saw. Only 3 years old, and its teeth are all shot. Let that be a lesson to you.
Okay, mister.
Now, I wish you wouldn't bother me anymore now. I got to finish this job and get the sawdust swept out.
Do you know it smells dandy in here?
Sure it does. No nicer smell in the world than a cedar. Look, do you always drink your milk like a good girl?
Sure I do, I bet you. Why?
Well, you better, that's all. Take a look at this saw. Only 3 years old, and its teeth are all shot. Let Let that be a lesson to you.
Okay, mister.
I wish you wouldn't bother me anymore now. I got to finish this job and get the sawdust swept out.
Gee, you know it smells dandy in here.
Sure it does. No nicer smell in the world than a cedar tree. It's one of nature's lures to get us out into the great outdoors.
Gee, is it? Honest, mister?
Sure it is. You got to realize, sis, that there's a reason for everything in nature.
Oh. What's nature's reason for spinach, huh?
Why, sis, do you mean to stand there with your little arms sticking out of your shoulders? Sis? Nature is called she because it's so inconsistent, unstable, unpredictable, beautiful, mean, gorgeous, appealing, nasty, and nobody yet. She. Nature, sis, is always referred to as she.
Why?
Well, oh, boy, here's my chance to make Reader's Digest. Sis? Nature is called she because it's so inconsistent, unstable, unpredictable, beautiful, mean, gorgeous, appealing, nasty, and nobody yet has ever understood her.
Do you think the Reader's Digest would like that?
Well, don't you?
Then...
Now, trim the ends a little bit. Let's get her up there.
Oh, heavenly days, there goes that window again.
You don't have to worry about it anymore, Molly. That's the last time I ever try to explain something to her, if I'm smart. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Aha, now we're getting someplace. Now to cut her down on the sides. Now, trim the ends a little bit. Let's get her up there.
Oh, heavenly days, there goes that window again.
You don't have to worry about it anymore, Molly. Here's a nice stick I made for you to prop it up with.
Oh, fine, dearie. Just the thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, forget it. It's nothing that any red-blooded American boy couldn't
Say,
have
it
done.
was very thoughtful of you now, McGee. Say,
Huh?
what became of the Christmas tree?
Program and others, for the past 2 weeks, you've heard urgent requests to buy defense... I got her trimmed down a little too fine. Well, that's that, I guess. Now to go to work on that thermostat.
No, don't do it.
Folks, day after day and night after night on this program and others, for the past 2 weeks, you've heard urgent requests to buy defense bonds and defense stamps. If they come to your door selling bonds and stamps, get down to your bank or post office and lay it on the line. This isn't the other fellow's fight. It's yours and mine. So here it is again. Buy defense bonds and defense stamps.
Yes, and if you live...
It's going to cost a lot of money to win it, but it would cost a lot more than mere money to lose it. Now, don't wait for somebody to come to your door selling bonds and stamps. Get down to your bank or post office and lay it on the line. This isn't the other fellow's fight. It's yours and mine. So here it is again. Buy defense bonds and defense stamps.
Yes, and if you live in Canada, buy war savings certificates or victory bonds.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coats present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by the King's Men and music by Billy Mills. The show...
Few skips in that recording, but it's still fun. December 16th, 1941, Fibber McGee and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The spin-off from that program, 4 years later, Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. That's up next.
This is Art Linkletter. In event of atomic bombing or some other catastrophe, here's something important to remember. It will help save lives, including your own. Do not use the telephone. Leave the line open for official rescue and relief. This is your part in civil defense. Remember, don't use the phone. Leave the line clear for safety of your own life and the lives of others.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of The Great Gildersleeve starring Harold Perry, 78 years ago, December 16th, 1945, A Night at the Opera.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products.
Now let's join the great Gildersleeve. There seems to be a good deal of activity going on in his house.
Leroy, ask Bertie if she's finished ironing my shirt.
Okay.
Marjorie, what'd you do with my tuxedo?
Your tuxedo? I haven't been wearing it.
It came back from the cleaners this morning. Someone must have put it someplace. Leroy, you going to ask Bertie about my shirt, or aren't you?
Sure. Gosh, what's the hurry?
There's an opera on, young man. Now get moving. Ask her about my tuxedo at the same time. And answer the phone.
I'll answer the phone. It's probably for me.
Well, somebody answer it.
Mr. Gildersleeve, President. Oh, yes, Miss Goodwin, he's sitting right here. No, he ain't particularly busy. I'll call him. Mr. Gildersleeve, Miss Goodwin on the phone.
Yeah, all right, Bertie, thank you. But I am busy. Do you know what happened to my tuxedo?
It's hanging in your closet, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, well, what about my shirt?
It's in your dresser drawer.
Already? Wonderful. Well, wait a minute, Bertie. Don't go away now. Hello, Eve. How are things shaping up? Great. Look, how would it be if I pick you up around 8 o'clock? Okay, my chariot will draw up to your door at the stroke of 8. Shall I blow the horn? I was only kidding, Eve. I'll ring the doorbell. Am I dressing? You darn right I am. After all, an opera doesn't come to Summerfield every day. Okay, Eve. Ta-ta. Let me see now. If I forgot you were standing there, Bertie.
Something you wanted, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, Bertie. Very important. I wonder if you could press my black tie, give it a little backbone.
I can try, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Fine. Leroy, run upstairs and get my black tie. It's lying with my collar and studs on the bed.
Gosh, all this work to go to the opera. Does everybody have to go through this?
Men always dress to go to the opera, my boy. It's a tradition.
Yeah? Who started it?
Women, go get the tie.
Okay.
See, a shirt, collar, tie, socks. Socks? Bertie, have I got any black silk socks?
You got 3 pair, Mr. Gildersleeve. One pair never even been mended.
Well, one pair ought to be enough. Let's see. What else? Oh, yes, my opera hat. Have you seen it?
No, sir, not in some little time.
I've worn it since the day I sat on the platform with the governor. Marjorie, have you seen my opera hat?
Not since Leroy had it.
Leroy? What was he doing with it?
Don't you remember? He used it for his magic.
Oh, my goodness.
Here you are, Unc. Is this it?
Where is my opera hat, Leroy?
I thought you wanted the tie.
Never mind the tie. Where is my opera hat?
Upstairs, I guess.
Don't guess me any guesses. Go get the hat.
Okay, gosh, more trouble.
And give me the necktie.
Oh, forgot. Here, catch.
Oh, here, Bertie. You think you can do anything about it?
Well, sir, I might be able to make it set up for a few hours.
That's all I ask, Bertie. Just so it'll carry me till midnight. Then I'll come home like Cinderella.
Yes, sir. Little starch ought to do it.
Marjorie, what kind of tricks was Leroy doing with my opera hat?
Oh, you know. He used to pull things out of it.
What kind of things?
Eggs and stuff like that.
That darn kid. By George, if he's... Leroy...
Were you thinking of wearing this hat on?
I was?
Tonight?
Tonight. Let me see it.
Gee.
Leroy, you ruined it. This hat cost me $7.50 in 1922, and I've only worn it 3 times. The first chance I've had to wear it to an opera. And look at it.
Oh, it isn't so bad, Unc. Just one teeny little hole in the top. I bet it wouldn't leak even.
An opera hat is not worn to keep off the rain, my boy. Oh, well, I suppose the music will sound just as good if I wear a derby.
Well, here we are, folks, in the lobby of the Summerfield Opera House, where tonight Summerfield is to have its first opera since the year 1922. Now, I'm going to try to bring to our microphone a few of the leading citizens as they arrive to take their seats. So, if you'll just be patient, we expect to present some of these leading citizens very shortly.
Pardon me, buddy. Could you
I'm sorry we're on the air.
Oh, pardon me. I thought you were an usher. Look, Lovey, this guy's broadcasting the opera. You see the microphone?
Yeah, I've seen lots of them in pictures.
While we're waiting, folks, I might give you a little background information on tonight's opera entitled Tannhauser. It was written by Richard Wagner, a German, and was first presented in the year 1845 in the city of Dresden,
He's
Germany.
reading all that off the paper.
Yeah, I saw him.
Oh, I think I see a gentleman coming now I'd like to present to you over our microphone. Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve. This gentleman is the chairman of the Committee on Arrangements for tonight's opera.
Did you hear that, honey? Mr. Gildersleeve's going to speak over the air.
Why?
Mr. Gildersleeve, will you step over?
Yes, pardon me, madam.
And here is our first celebrity, ladies and gentlemen, just as we promised, Mr. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, our popular water commissioner.
Oh, thank you. Should I talk or sing?
Just talk.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here this evening. And as chairman of the Committee on Arrangements, I want to say it's been quite a job getting this opera on. What I mean, ladies and gentlemen, is that I personally have sacrificed my personal time and energy. So I want...
Thank you, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Now, folks...
Just a minute, I haven't finished. I didn't say anything about how good the opera is.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. Everything is timed to a split second.
Oh.
Now, I'll move our portable microphone around a little, friends, and bring you some of the other celebrities. At the time, Tannhauser was...
Hiya, Commissioner. Nice little speech you give there.
Thanks, Floyd. Had some more I wanted to say if you hadn't been in such a hurry.
Oh, well.
Hi, Commissioner. What's the matter? You can't say hello now that you're a big radio star?
Oh, Mrs. Munson, hello. Say, is that darn announcer introducing somebody else?
Huh?
Who is it over there?
Well, I think it's, yeah, it is. Chief Gates.
Chief Gates. Who wants to hear a speech from him? Now, if he'd let me develop my thought a little bit.
Let's go over and listen to the chief. Maybe we can make him laugh in the middle.
Now, Lovey, is that a nice thought?
Well, come on, let's go listen to him anyway.
And so I take great pleasure in presenting Summerfield's popular chief of police, Don Gates.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was more crime in Summerfield during 1945 than in any previous year of our history.
The music, Chief. Say something about the music.
Arrests for every type of offense increased during the past year. Of particular importance was the rise in juvenile delinquency.
Every time he makes a speech, Floyd, it's about juvenile delinquency.
And in my opinion, juvenile delinquency can only be curbed by occasions such as this one, giving our young people wholesome amusement that will keep them off the streets. I thank you.
Thank you, Chief Gates. The story of the opera Tannhauser is a tragic one, dealing with a love of medieval...
Well, good evening, folks. Mrs. Munson, nice to see you again.
Hi, big boy.
Hiya, Floyd. Hiya, Commissioner.
Nice little speech, Chief. You talk into that thing like you was Gabriel Heater himself.
Heaven's sakes, Chief, why didn't you say something about how much Summerfield has needed the opera? What a great thing this is for the music lovers in this town.
Well, I gave my angle of it, Commissioner.
You made it sound like a punishment for criminals.
Well?
You like it, Floyd. You like it.
Well, I'll give it a listen. Come on, shouldn't we be finding our seats?
Yes, by George, we should. Now, just follow me, folks.
Okay.
Here we are. Follow me, folks. Dark, isn't it? Our box is the next one. We have a private entrance, sort of. Here we are.
Oh. See, there's Peavy. Been sitting right here all the time.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Peavy.
Hiya, Peavy, old boy.
Don't get up, Peavy. Now, I think if Mrs. Munson and Floyd will sit here and Peavy over there.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I'd rather not sit so close to the edge, if you don't mind.
Oh, Peave, nobody ever fell out of a box.
Well, maybe not, but I've always had a nervous feeling about high places.
Yes.
Oh, look at all the people way down there. Catch me, Lovey. I think I'm going to jump.
Oh, Floyd's a clown, isn't he?
Yeah, very funny. For heaven's sake, Floyd, people are staring at us.
Let 'em. I bought my ticket.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing, being nervous about high places. Psychology, I suppose.
Yes.
Hey, look. I could drop my program and beam the president of Hogan Brothers.
Little psychological quirks. For example, I never can eat eggplant after tomato soup.
Yes. Where the dickens is Judge Hooker? The show ought to be starting any minute.
Some people don't like to be locked up in a small room, I understand. I tried it once and I enjoyed it. I guess it takes all kinds.
Yes. Quiet, everybody. Now, here comes the orchestra. 20 pieces. I tell you, this is going to be a real show.
Hey, wait a minute. That little guy with the piccolo. Don't he hustle baggage down at the depot?
Jimmy Pittenger. Sure, that's him. Hey, what kind of orchestra are you palming off on us here, Mr. Gildersleeve? For $5 a throw, I don't want to hear no freight handler.
Well, Floyd, let's give him a chance.
Okay. If he's good, okay. If he's lousy, I hope he drops the trunk on his toe tomorrow.
Hey, who's the guy just came in down there with the bald head?
Yeah, that's the conductor. Now they'll start. Yeah, he's tapping, see? Yeah, that's it. That's the overture to Tannhauser.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Pardon me, folks. Is this box 7?
Oh, for heaven's sake. This is it, Judge. Come on in.
Oh, that's you, Floyd?
Yep, that's me.
Well, where shall I?
Quiet, you. Sit down before I choke you.
All right, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, WSUM, the voice of Summerfield, regrets that time does not permit us to bring you the opera Tannhauser in its entirety. We urge you, however, to stay tuned to this station.
My, it certainly feels good to sit down and relax for a while.
Don't tell me Christmas shopping has got you down.
Yes, it has. I've never seen such crowds in the stores, Mr. Lang. I'm glad my shopping's just about done. All I have to do now is pick up a few things on my holiday food list.
Well, don't forget your grocer also is a very busy man these days. And with quality foods in such big demand for special occasions, I think it might be wise to get in a reminder right now about homemakers shopping early for Parquet margarine. There's always a big demand, you know, for this popular spread made by the Kraft Foods Company. It's a favorite of millions.
I'm glad you reminded me of that, Mr. Lang. We're going to be serving all kinds of hot breads over the holidays. And I know I can always count on Parquet margarine to make them taste extra good.
You certainly can. Parquet margarine makes all kinds of bread taste extra good because it's still unmatched for flavor. That's why millions of American families prefer this delicious, economical spread to any other brand. So be sure to get Parquet from your food dealer tomorrow. That's Parkay. Parquet margarine, one of the quality foods made by the Kraft Foods Company. Back in the Summerfield Opera House, the last aria has died away. The last floral tribute has been delivered. The last bows have been taken. The asbestos curtain has fallen, and the musicians have scrambled out of the pit. Ushers prowl now through the rows of empty seats, picking up lost gloves, discarded programs, and gum wrappers. On the sidewalk out in front, Summerfield's opera lovers are still milling about in their post-war finery, looking for their cars.
Chief, how did you like the opera?
How'd you like it, Peavy?
Yeah, I asked you first.
I get you, me too.
Goodness, Throckmorton. I hope not everyone felt that way about it.
Don't worry, Eve. Stick close to me now. Taxi! Hey, taxi! Got away. I'll shut off his water. Wish I'd brought my own car now. I thought parking would be so bad.
Hey, Commissioner!
Oh, there's that Mr. What's-his-name. He's calling you.
Where? Sounded like Floyd Munson.
In that car that just pulled up.
Hey, come in.
Oh, yeah, Floyd. Hello.
Hey, nudge the ball and chain there with it if you don't see me.
Where?
Standing right behind you there with a mouth open. Hey, Dreamy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
Now, Mrs. Munson.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, I thought it was somebody getting familiar.
Oh, no. Not at all. On the contrary, Mrs. Munson. There's your husband waiting for you.
Come on, come on.
Well, it's a wonder you wouldn't blow your horn.
I practically blew the insides out of it. You wasn't standing there gaping all around you. Hey, Commissioner, you got a ride? Can I drop you somewhere?
What do you think, Eve?
Plenty of room. Glad to take your friend there, too.
It's a ride, Eve. Would you mind? The taxi situation don't look too good.
Well, I think it's very nice of him to offer.
How about it?
Thanks, Floyd. We won't be taking you out of your way.
Ah, climb in.
Go ahead, Eve. Mrs. Munson, you met Miss Goodwin.
How do you do? Likewise. Pile in there, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You think there's room for me in the back here?
Oh, plenty. I'll just... Oh.
Yeah, a little tight, isn't it? Yeah.
All set? All set, Floyd. Where to?
Home, James?
There's other people in the car besides you, Lovey.
Oh, where are you headed for, Miss Goodwin?
Yeah, I'm seeing her home. She lives over on Laurel Avenue, Floyd.
Yeah, I know the place. We drove by there one time. Oh, keep your shirt on. You think you're on the street?
That's telling them, Fearless. Now, suppose we get going. Oh, gracious. Watch it.
You asked for it.
There's other people in the car besides me, Lovey. So just watch it, that's all.
A little less help from the back seat, or a certain party's going to get out and walk.
Yes. How did everybody like the opera?
Oh, yes, I'm very anxious to know...
Opera's okay for them that like it, I guess, but give me a good musical show anytime.
You're a good bill of vaudeville.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to go to the Orpheum every Saturday night, Floydie?
Those were the days. That was entertainment.
Well, I don't care what anybody says. I enjoyed the opera.
Did you, Throckmorton?
Oh, come on now, Commissioner. I caught you dozing off there a couple of times.
I closed my eyes, Floyd, in order to enjoy the music more.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. Personally, I would have enjoyed it more if I'd slept through the whole thing.
Floyd, just stick to your driving.
Who asked for any advice from you?
You heard the man say he enjoyed the opera, didn't you? All right, leave him enjoy it. You got a cousin, you know, that likes rutabagas.
Listen, you want to get out and walk?
Let's not discuss the opera anymore, folks, shall we?
Do come inside for a minute, Throckmorton.
Well, just to say good night.
At least it's warm in here.
Feels good.
Whew. Let's sit down.
Tired?
A little.
Aren't you going to take off your coat?
In a minute. I'd just like to sit first.
Guess I'll do the same.
All these weeks of preparation, and now suddenly it's over.
Well, I think it was a great success. Don't you?
I suppose they'll say so.
What do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Bullard's gown was much admired, and Mrs. Pettibone's, and all the best photographers attended.
Well, I thought yours was prettier than either of them.
I just wonder if anyone heard the opera. Some of the remarks I overheard were so discouraging.
Who made remarks? Just tell me who made any remarks and
Oh,
I'll...
it wouldn't do any good to threaten them, Throckmorton. That's not the point. It's just that it didn't speak very well for the level of musical appreciation in Summerfield.
Well, there's always bound to be a few gripers.
I was very proud of you, by the way.
Yeah? When?
On the way home, when you defended the opera, when you said that you'd really enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. I think it was the finest performance of opera I've ever heard.
Well, I don't know that I'd quite agree with you about that. Actually, the performance, I thought, was little better than mediocre.
Oh, there are things about it that I'd criticize if you want to split hairs.
Exactly. After all, it isn't the performance, it's the opera. When you compare it to what we usually have here in Summerfield.
Just what I was going to say. Took the very words right out of my mouth. It isn't the performance, it's the opera. By George, that's so true.
You know, Throckmorton, perhaps I shouldn't say this, but I'd almost given you up for lost there for a while. And now I think again perhaps there's hope.
What do you mean, lost?
Well, I had a feeling that you were simply running with the crowd, that you cared more for the plaudits of the multitude than you did...
Eve, my whole life has been an attempt to get away from that.
You know, you're very puzzling at times, Throckmorton. You're really quite an enigma.
Ooh, you think so?
I mean, sometimes I think I see a spark in you. And then for long periods it disappears.
I just get too busy.
And then suddenly the spark is there again. I can see it. And I have the feeling that if it were just fanned a little...
Fan it, Eve.
Don't misunderstand. I'm referring at the moment to your feeling for music. It's one of the nicest things about you.
You know, Eve, When I was listening to the opera there tonight, I suddenly realized. 20 years ago it was a toss-up whether I'd take up music professionally or go into business. My talent for business won out. But I still wonder sometimes if it wasn't a mistake.
Perhaps it's not too late.
You mean you think I could...
Oh, not professionally, perhaps, but you still have a lovely voice.
Well, music has always been one of my great loves. Me. How does that aria go? Oh, evening star, da, da.
Oh, if you studied, Throckmorton, if you really worked.
I will. I really will, Eve. I'll work and I'll study every spare minute I get.
Oh, do.
I'll let nothing stand in my way. I'll work till I've made up for all the years I've wasted. And then one day, I'll cast aside the waterworks and surprise everybody.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, evening star, how bright you are. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Oh, evening star, wherever you go, I love you only. Oh, Eve, if I'd only met you 20 years ago. Good night, Eve.
Good night, Throckmorton.
Eve.
Yes?
No, I won't.
Won't what?
I won't ask to kiss you. Not till I've made good. Good night.
Good night, Throckmorton. And remember, work and study.
Day and night. Oh, evening star, how bright you are. Da 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 dee da dee da da. Oh, evening star, wherever you are, I love you all.
Quiet down there. Shut up!
Oh, shut up yourself. Ignoramuses, all of you. But I'll show you. Oh, no, I better not. Eve, she's the only one who understands me. Eve has faith in me. Well, I'll show her, too. Work and study. Work and study. Yes, by George, the first thing tomorrow. What you for?
It's 9:15.
It is, huh? Well, close the window, so it's 9:15?
Yeah, Bertie said to tell you.
9:15, eh? Well, what was I going to do today? It was something I was going to do.
I don't know what you're going to do, but I got to get going.
Wait a minute, my boy. Where are you going in such a hurry?
To school. Where do you think?
Oh, school.
I told you it's 9:15. It's all right for you maybe to lie in bed till noon, but I'm only a kid, so I have to work and study all day.
Work and study. I remember now. Eve.
Well, so long.
Leroy, wait a minute. Come back here.
Now what is it?
Leroy, don't neglect your music, my boy.
Who's neglecting it?
Practice your piano every day.
I always do.
Work and study. Those should be your watchwords, my boy. Devote every moment you can to it, because there's no greater satisfaction in life to a man than music.
Yes, sir. Well,
I want you to study and work hard, my boy, so that Miss Goodwin will be proud of you.
Yeah, well,
In fact, beginning the first of the year, I think I'd like you to take 2 music lessons a week instead of 1.
What? 2 lessons?
You'll thank me for it, Leroy. When you're an older man, you'll thank me for it. One of the greatest regrets of my life was the fact that I didn't keep on with my musical studies when I was a young man. I'd even take them up again now, if I had the time for it. Close the door when you go out, my boy. I think I'll catch a few more winks before I get up. Up a little late last night.
What a character.
The great Gildersleeve will be back again in just a moment. One of the pleasant things we all look forward to in our house during holiday time is the tempting aroma of hot breads baking in the kitchen. No doubt you'll be having a variety of baking treats in your home, too, during the coming weeks. And it goes without saying that you'll want a delicious spread to serve with them. So I'd like to suggest for your family's enjoyment a spread that's a favorite of millions, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Parquet margarine is still unmatched for fresh, dairy-like flavor. That's why it tastes so good on fresh-baked muffins, sugared buns, and crusty rolls. And Parquet is easy on your food budget, too. It's only about half the price of costly spreads. So tomorrow, be sure to buy delicious, economical Parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, one thought before we say goodnight. In the hustle and bustle of Christmas shopping, it's very easy to forget to buy the little Christmas seals that are helping our country to control mankind's most dangerous disease, tuberculosis. The tragic thing about tuberculosis is that its spread is preventable. We know how to control it, but it costs money. Most of us have known someone who's been a victim of tuberculosis. I do myself. So I make this plea very sincerely. Don't forget to buy some Christmas seals tomorrow. Good night.
It is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
We'll soon be into the holiday season, and that's time for bright, tempting dishes. So add a lively touch of flavor to your foods with tangy, golden Kraft salad mustard. You can serve Kraft salad mustard in all sorts of delightful ways. This delicious salad mustard adds extra flavor zest to cooked egg and cheese dishes, adds lip-smacking flavor to gravies, relishes, and sandwich spreads. And for the special zippy flavor some folks prefer, there's a sharper Kraft mustard, too, with horseradish added. So be sure to head up your holiday shopping list with Kraft quality mustards.
I neglected to tell you what's coming up tomorrow. That was the Great Gildersleeve from 78 years ago, December 16th, 1945. Tomorrow, more comedy, Jimmy Durante, Phil Harris and Alice Faye, Our Miss Brooks, the Old Gold Comedy Theater, and an episode of Front Page Drama. But right now, we have an episode of Lum and Abner.
If this country should ever suffer a nuclear attack, governors, mayors, city managers, and other persons of authority in state and local governments would be working in emergency operating centers, directing the necessary survival and recovery actions. There are now more than 2,000 such centers throughout the United States. EOCs, they're called. And from these EOCs, persons of authority will direct all the civil defense activities in surrounding areas. An EOC Emergency Operating Center will be the focal point for gathering all civil defense information and for controlling and directing emergency actions in the event of a nuclear attack.
And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas, and see what's going on at the Jot 'em Down store with Lum and Abner from 82 years ago, December 16th, 1941.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Say, folks, how's everything out your way these days? You pretty busy? Well, if you are, if your work is unusually heavy and you're going more than you ordinarily do, I just hope for your sake that you have a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets handy in your home. Then, if a headache or some minor stomach upset comes along and slows you down and threatens to keep you from going places and doing things, quick, pleasant relief can be yours in a hurry. Remember, too, that Alka-Seltzer offers remarkably fast, effective relief for the muscular aches and pains and fatigue that follow busy days. I tell you, folks, Alka-Seltzer can bring relief for so many different ailments that are so common along about this time of the year, you just can't afford to be without a package of these modern, effervescent tablets in your home. You'll want to keep a supply at your place of work, too. So, be wise. Take a trip to your favorite drugstore tomorrow and get yourself a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets. Many's the time you'll be glad you did. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, the locket and love note which Lum baked into a loaf of bread intended for Miss Fredericks finally turned up. Gussie Hogan, Snake Hogan's old maid sister, found it, and she's certain that Lum meant it for her. So now Lum is tangled up in a romance he's afraid to get out of because of Snake's ill temper and superior strength. As we look in on the little community today, we find Grandpap in the library section of the Jot 'em Down store, while Abner is receiving some instructions from Lum. Listen.
Well, now, wait a minute now, Lum. I'd rather not get mixed up in this thing.
Abner, you got to help me. That's all there are to it. Besides, I ain't asking you to do very much for me. You act like you wouldn't care if I had to go as first to marry Gussie Hogan.
Marry her? Oh, doggies, Lum, you ain't fixing to marry an old maid like that, are you?
Well, of course I ain't if I can get out of it. That's why I need your help. Now, here's my idea. Gussie's over there at Dick Huddleston's store right now. Soon as she comes out, you run over there and start telling her what an uncommon poor husband I'd make for her.
Oh, well, now, I wouldn't feel that way about myself, Lum. I believe you could be a pretty good husband if you actually tried.
Well, that's just it. I don't want to be a good one. I want to be one of no kind.
Don't, huh?
Tell her I waste all my money and never get home for meals and complain about everything, throw my clothes on the floor and stay out all night and everything else.
Well, now, I don't want to be telling stuff like that about you, Lum. Folks is going to get the wrong idea about you.
That's what I want them to do. Or that's what I want Gussie to do. Tell her I got so many bad habits you can't recollect all of them.
I can't, huh?
Tell her you have to watch me all the time on account I steal.
Steal?
Yeah, steal money out of the store.
Well, steal money from the store? Is that why you've been getting down here so early in the morning?
Of course not. I ain't actual stole nothing.
Huh?
Can't you understand that I'm just doing this so Gussie won't want to marry me?
Well, why don't you just go over there and tell her then that you hate and despise her, and tell her that you put that locket in the loaf of bread for Miss Frederick?
It's too late to do that. She's wearing that locket around her neck and been showing it to everybody in town. And It's got my picture in there saying, "To the one I love." Granny, this is the worst thing I ever got into in my life.
Well, I'd just take the locket away from her then. Tell her it weren't meant from her.
Don't be silly, Abner. That Snake Hogan rush in here and grab me by the neck and break every bone in my body, and you know it.
Doggy, that's right. Yeah, he would. I'm feared that. I forgot about him.
Goodness, I don't know why Gussie had to have the meanest feller in town for a brother.
She's got him.
I wish she had that little Blevins boy for a brother. I could pick him up in one hand and just...
Well, you are too. He ain't but about 6 years old.
I know, but he's big for his age. I'd tell him that if him and his sister didn't leave me... Wait a minute, look over there.
Huh?
Ain't that Gussie coming out of Dick Huddleston's store?
Oh.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
All right, run over there and tell her all that stuff about me.
Well, now, wait a minute now, Lum. I don't
Run
want...
on, catch her before she gets away.
Blame
Tell her a young girl like her oughtn't to get hitched up to old
Young
man.
girl, I bet you she's...
Well, tell her that anyway. That'll make her feel good, and she'll listen to what else you've got to say. Go on now, hurry up.
Well, all right, but I still think I'm making a mistake.
Hurry up now, you won't catch her.
I hope I don't.
Walk faster, Dad, blame it, run.
Well, I'll catch her.
Grannies, I hope this works. Do you think it will, Grandpap?
Huh?
I say to... Oh, never mind, I see you busy with the almanac. No, this ain't the almanac. It's a novel. Picked it up yesterday by mistake. It's awful exciting, interesting. Love twixt golden strands. Have you read it, Lum? No, I ain't, and I'd rather you didn't mention the word love around here. Well, you ought to read it, Lum. Feller in here named Captain Haraway. He's a goer. I'm glad to hear somebody is. Captain Haraway grew rigid, and a shudder passed over his massive frame as his steel blue eyes fell upon the sinister figure of Reginald Black creeping along the darkened corridor. Well, don't read it to me. I ain't interested in Captain Haraway. Like a flash, a thought leaped into Captain Haraway's mind. Marguerite is in trouble, he said to himself. Marguerite needs me. I must not fail her, for I love her. Yes, I love her. Those words keep running through his mind. I love her. I love her. You see, Lum, Captain Haraway's in love with Marguerite. I don't know how you ever figured that out. Stealthily, Captain Haraway followed Reginald Black. It was dangerous, but he was driven on by his great love, the one great love of his life.
I'm not intruding here, gentlemen.
Howdy, Squire. Grannies, I never heard you coming in there.
I didn't mean to break in on a private conference, Lum.
Oh, no, not at all, Squire. Fact is, I'm glad you dropped in right now.
Well, I just happened to hear Grandpap mention something about love there, so I figured you were talking about Gussie.
Gussie?
Yes, I've heard all about you and Gussie, Lum. Why, you old rascal. I'd about given up you ever getting married, Lum, after all these years.
Well, I ain't married yet, don't forget that.
Well, it won't be long, Lum, won't be long. Fine girl, Gussie. I have seen more beautiful women, I will admit, but she's a fine woman. And that was a very clever stunt that you had there, too, Lum, that way of proposing, putting that locket in a loaf of bread.
I never proposed to her.
Well, no, not exactly. I saw the locket, Lum, but, well, the same thing, practically. And I'll tell you another thing, Lum. You gave me an idea there for one of the greatest merchandising schemes that I ever thought up in my life.
I did, huh?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you, Lum, if we play our cards right, you and I can make a fortune out of it.
Well, I don't know nothing about playing cards, Squire.
No,
Rook, I
no.
play rook and flinch, but...
Well, you don't understand exactly, Lum. I don't mean actually playing cards. I mean a merchandising scheme for the bakery here. Prizes baked right into the loaves of bread.
Prizes, huh?
Why, yes. We can advertise it well that each day the Pine Ridge Bakery will offer $100 in prizes, baked right into the bread.
$100 worth of prizes?
Yes, Lum. See, we advertise that 5 loaves of bread each day will contain a $20 bill. That's $100 altogether. And everybody for miles around will be buying more bread than they need, just trying to get one of the lucky loaves.
That does sound like a good idea.
Oh,
right.
Lum, this is without a doubt the greatest idea I ever had in my life, and I've had some good ones.
I might buy some of the bread myself if I knowed there was a $10 or $20 bill in it.
Well, you could do it, Lum. Some people might object if the owners of the bakery was to win a prize, but
We won't need that money out of the loaves of bread. We'll make plenty from selling the bread.
Well, where are we going to get the $100 to use for prizes, though?
Well, I'll tell you, Lum, I thought, that is, right at first, till we got things to rolling, you understand, why, we wouldn't actually have to put the money in there.
Not put it in there?
No, not at first.
Well, how could anybody win it then?
Well, actually, we wouldn't have any winners, Lum, for a while, but they wouldn't catch on to us around here. We could tell it around that all the winners were out-of-town customers, you know, make up some fictitious names, and that is for a while till we got the business again.
You scoundrel, you renegade, you leave this place at once.
What's that?
I've been watching you for a long time, and now I have the goods on you. The jig is up, you blackguard.
Just a minute, Grandpap. Now, you can't talk to me like
out,
that.
I say, out. Take your crooked, underhanded schemes and be gone. Out, I say.
Now, listen here, gentlemen. I've heard about enough of this kind of talk. I came in here on business, but I don't have to take such insults as this.
Well, wait a minute, Squire.
I don't care to hear any more, Lum. If that's the way you gentlemen feel about my idea, why, I'll take it into the county seat. I'm sure that the bakery in there would be glad to get something like this. Good day, gentlemen.
Well, here, Squire. For goodness sakes, Grandpap, what'd you have to talk that way to Squire? That was a good idea he had, and I'd want to run it honest, of course, but I believe we could have made some money out of it. Huh? You insulted the Squire talking that way to him. Who was talking to the Squire? I was just reading here. This is the exciting part. Listen to this. Out, I say, cried Captain Haraway as he raised his fist and shook it at Reginald Black. For goodness sakes, is that all you was doing? Grandpap, you're going to have to stop coming over here to the library and reading these books. That's all they are. Wait a minute. There comes Abner. Abner? Yeah, that's him. I grant now my troubles with Gussie is over. She's more than like... Wait a minute. Come in, Abner. What'd she say?
I dog this from now on. If you got any talking to do to somebody, you can do it yourself.
Wait a minute. What happened to you?
Well, I told her them things that you said to tell her, and she said she wouldn't let nobody talk like that about her future husband, like to beat me to death before I could break away from her.
Well, that certainly was a surprise, wasn't it? Yes, and here's something else that'll come as a surprise to thousands of you listeners, too. Many specialists in nutrition are now recognizing that the average American diet often does not furnish enough vitamins to meet normal requirements. Let me ask you a question. Do you get enough vitamins? Are you sure? Well, here's how you can be sure that you get enough of two of these important vitamins. Take one a-day brand vitamin A and D tablet every day. Now, one-a-day vitamin tablets offer you the easy, truly economical way to make certain that you get your normal daily requirements of these two important vitamins, because each tablet contains the same amount of vitamins A and D as 2 whole teaspoons of cod liver oil, meeting minimum United States pharmacopoeia standards. Yet, in spite of their high vitamin content, these convenient-to-take, pleasant-to-taste tablets are amazingly low in cost. Now, 1 tablet a day is all you take, and 1 penny a day is all it costs. So ask your druggist for one-a-day brand vitamin A and D tablets right away and start getting their protective benefits. Remember, they're guaranteed by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. And see, that reminds me, you better take home a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets, too.
Gussie's not one to be messed with there. Love and Abner from December 16th, 1941, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Also coming up tomorrow, Jimmy Durante, Phil Harrison, Alice May, our Miss Brooks, the Old Comedy Theater, and Front Page Drama. On Monday's show, we'll have All Crime, Calling All Cars, Casey Crime Photographer, Candy Matson, Yukon 28209, Gangbusters, and another episode of Lum and Abner. So that's all coming up here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow right here with the Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox podcast.